You're now watching Boomsies on the Bet Rivers Network.
Okay, here we go. I think everything's working. We're in a new studio, different microphones, and a new human. It's a Boomsies to remember. Boomsies!
Boomsies, 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 boomsies. Well, welcome to the show. Come on, it's time, let's go. So glad that you're here. Woo. We're gonna talk some sports and talk some more. Here comes the king of cool. Woo. Oh, please welcome my host, Dan O'Toole. Oh,
There it is.
Dan
Made 'em
O'Toole.
Who, if he ever does a cross world tour, that'll be his get the people out of their seats song, where they'll be like, play Boomsies again. Hi, I'm Dan. This is Boomsies. I mentioned we have a guest. I figured this guy can break down hockey like no one I've ever talked to before. He can go beyond the X's and O's. He goes to the A to Z's. My good friend Gavin Coscarella.
What it do, baby?
That's actually the first thing when we met. That's the first thing you ever said to me.
I know, and it stuck. And every time I saw you thereafter, that was the first thing I'd say to you. What it do, baby?
When Kawhi Leonard did that on someone's FaceTime Live or whatever they were doing, or Instagram Live.
It was Serge Ibaka.
Well, I believe that was the coolest an athlete's ever sounded without trying to sound cool.
It's true. He was too cool for school. Kawhi was the best.
Whatever happened to Kawhi? He played in Toronto, then he left, and I haven't heard from him since.
I stopped watching basketball after they won, man. Why would I?
Yeah, it was a great time to be alive. That was the last time anyone ever watched a Raptors game when Kawhi was here. Didn't they finish last this year?
I think so. I went to a few games. I actually went to a lot of games this year, and it was like unwatchable basketball. It was great because I saw their opponents were really good. But
And you attended those, I'm assuming the tickets were free?
oh, big time. Big time.
When was the last time you paid for a sporting ticket? Sporting ticket.
A sporting ticket. I took
It sounds like we're talking about European soccer. When was the last time you paid for a ticket to go to a sporting event?
I took my dad for his birthday to see Montreal play Boston in Montreal.
Oh, how'd you get to that game?
I took a private jet.
Look at this big Bobby Big
Yeah, I
Wheels.
took our friend Mako's private jet.
It's a good way to relate to the audience by talking about private jets.
Yeah, it's a good way to travel.
So Gavin and I have been friends for years. And I said to our producers, Z-Money and Tim, I said, guys, I'm sick of talking to myself and then like talking to you guys. Well, I'm not sick of talking to you guys. You guys are always in your own studios. So I'm talking to disembodied voices. I want to talk to a human to get outside of my own head. So I said, can I invite my friend? And they said, fuck no. I said, well, I'm doing it anyway. And that's why Gavin's here. So
Thanks for having me.
So this is kind of like a therapy session for me. I get out of my little tiny cave of a studio, go into the adjacent studio, which is a couch we brought down from upstairs.
Nice sectional.
My friend Perry helped me bring it down here. And let me tell you this, whoever buys this house gets this couch because this couch cannot go back up those stairs.
I don't know why you wouldn't want this couch, though.
Oh, it's great. It's a great place to hang on a hot day because it's a cold, damp, musty basement.
It's nice. Nice ambiance.
So Gavin, you're a comedian. You aren't a hockey analyst, so
I can't skate.
you can't?
Not well, no.
Whoa. You're Canadian and you can't, but you could like hold your own in like a family skate.
Maybe with the pylon. I need a stick to kind of to guide me, but no, I never.
So you need a
I think I can. I've played shinny with buddies before, and going backwards is out of the question.
Oh boy.
But I can watch hockey, and I bet you I can coach an NHL team.
Well, that goes back to what I've talked to friends who have played the game, when I asked them, I said, could you play a game with no coach? They said, yeah, no problem. So, and then I said, well, has a motivational speech from a coach ever helped? They're like, no, not really. It's not like, wow, listen to those words. Let's play better.
Did you play growing up?
Hell yeah. Retired Bantam Church League champion. And then sold my goalie gear and didn't play again.
Were you a good goalie?
Look at the size of me. What do you think?
I don't know. You could be a little weapon.
I was okay, but I also played on really bad teams. And I realized that once when we lost a game in like a tournament, I believe we lost like 8-7, and I got player of the game for our team.
You played on really bad teams. That's a leadership quote right
Hey,
there.
whoa. We were in church league. There was no really good teams. That's why we played church league. We knew we weren't good enough to play anywhere else. Do you even know what church league is?
No, that was my next question.
Okay, so in my hometown, I don't know if this was just in my hometown, but we had a league where every team was sponsored by a local church. So there was like Knox United, Immaculate Conception, St. Anne's, St. John's. So
Are they all the same denomination?
No.
Nice.
So there was a lot of holy wars. So the team I finished on was Immaculate Conception, which at one point in his life, NHL legend, Hall of Famer, Stanley Cup champion, pride of Peterborough, Ontario, Bob Gainey played on. So Bob Gainey and I, at one point in our lives, played on the same team, Immaculate Conception.
There you go. I have a Bob Gainey jersey that hangs above my bed. An autographed, game-worn Bob Gainey jersey.
You're a grown man. This still there?
It's my father's, and he just has a collection of sports memorabilia that just gets put in my room by default, and I'm here for it.
Game worn. Is it encased in glass?
Of course.
Oh, so you can't see if there's a smell to it.
No, but I think there is, and beside it, I have a Vinnie Danfrews game worn from 1991, I think, and it's just covered in blood, and it smells like absolute shit. Smells like victory, baby.
So you're a Habs fan.
I am.
So
I am.
The fact that we're buddies with Knuckles Nyland must be.
Knuckles. Yes, shout out Knuckles. Did you see Snoop Dogg was wearing his jersey? Nyland's jersey on stage yesterday.
Wow, where was he? In Montreal?
I assume so. I assume at the Bell Center.
Well, I don't know, because Snoop Dogg's got it figured out. He's got this little system where he goes to small towns, because small towns don't get a lot of big acts, and then he sells out.
I think he doesn't sell out everywhere. Snoop Dogg doesn't sell out everywhere.
I don't know. I'd have to check his ticket sales.
But anyway, I saw the photo that Knuckles posted of the two of them, and I was like, why does that work out so well? Match made in heaven.
Snoop Dogg has it all figured out, hitting small towns.
He'll make it one day, that Snoop, huh?
Yeah. I grew up a Habs fan. I've told this story before. I stopped being a Habs fan when they traded Patrick Waugh. I never became an Avalanche fan, and then I met Patrick Waugh, and it was not a good experience. But then a good friend sent me a signed picture of Patrick Waugh this year, and the bridges have been mended.
Oh, with a signed picture? Did it say to Dan, I'm sorry for being a prick?
Here's the thing, though. It said, Dan, all the best. So it was.
So your friend wrote it.
It was not a personalized greeting, but I will overlook that. It's a signed picture of Patrick Waugh.
That's cool. Why was he a dick? Explain your first experience.
So at the All-Star game in LA, when I lived in LA, my buddy Steve Webb, NHL legend for the Islanders, he and I are at the All-Star festivities, having some glasses of wine, sitting at a restaurant by the Staples Center, and in walks Patrick Waugh. So I'm like, Webby, there's Waugh. He's like, go say hi. I'm like, I'm not doing that. He goes, it's your chance. Go do it. So I go up and I say, Patrick, sorry to bother you. He's with his wife and another couple. No one else knows who the hell he is. Like, I grew up watching all your games, and then I got to do your highlights on TV, and now I get to meet you. This is such a great moment. He's like,
interrupted him.
He was not in conversation. He was just standing there waiting to go to his table. And so after I give him my spiel, he says to me, you want a picture or what?
Amen. You say, yes, sir. And did you get a picture?
I did. But again, he could have just said, "Oh, that's great. Do you want a picture?"
Yeah, but I mean,
Don't say I could have been on a bad
you got
day.
more than I would have given you. If I was him, I would have been like, "Not now, kid," and just stiff-armed you and been like, you got the photo. And then I think he.
So I'm
I think he
overthinking
did
it.
the right thing, and you just had this high expectation, but you inconvenienced this man.
There was no inconvenience. He was not like in the middle of eating like matzo ball soup.
Sir, I had a. Are you comfortable going up to celebrities that you don't in the wild?
That was the only time
That's
I've ever
the only
done
time?
it. Yeah.
I had. I think I'm okay with it. Do you know Norman Reedus?
No.
He was from The Walking Dead. He was from the Boondock Saints. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Come on. That's inexcusable. You should watch that movie. Anyways, there was a Comic-Con, and I went up to him. I was absolutely gassed, hammered at the end of the night, and I was like, "Hey, man, can I get a photo?" And he's like, "I've been doing that all weekend." And then he just walked away, and I was like, "I'm sorry, sir." And that was my...
But for him delivering that line, it would have been less time for him to just say, "Yeah, no problem."
Yeah, but then the bar we were in, it would have attracted attention, and then it would have been a whole thing. You know what I mean?
See, here's my philosophy in life. When I was a big-time TV star, and and enough people would have enough booze in them, they'd ask for pictures and stuff. And I never said no to pictures or anything or spending 1 second with someone just for my own mindset. So when someone came back and said, "Oh yeah, you were a dick to this person," and I can honestly say, no, I wasn't, because I've never been a dick to a person. So
there's levels to it, though. So
why are you justifying all these people's dick ass behavior?
I just feel like if you're there's certain tiers to fame, and there's something that from the outside being, he could just take a photo with me. You don't know what that guy's going through that day. You could be the 45th person that's come up to him with his family and been like, on that note, I'll give you a prime example of overstepping a boundary, perhaps. I was at Beer Town in Oakville, and my buddy is a packed summer. It was lunchtime. It was packed. It was packed.
Excuse me.
Shout out Beer Town, Oakville. And Jason Momoa is there with his kids. And
he's the Aquaman.
He is the Aquaman. Or Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Anyways, stands out like a sore thumb. The guy's about 7'12", whatever you want to call it. He's huge. That would also be 8 feet. And my buddy's like, "Is that Aquaman?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course that's Aquaman." He's like, "Should you go get a photo?" And I was like, "I don't want to do that." But I crept, and I was fairly hammered at the moment, and I crept around, and I just got there. I got within maybe 5 feet of him, and I pulled up my camera slowly, very slowly. And within a second of having my phone up, I clue in, it is weird that I'm taking a photo of a man with his kids at lunch.
Yeah.
But the whole section he was in stood up, and they were all his bodyguards.
Oh, they blocked the shot.
They blocked the shot. They come and they grab me, and they're like, "Delete the fucking photo now."
Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah. They were just, I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And then Aquaman just looked at me and shook his head.
Yes,
Like,
I love it.
Sorry, brother. Like, this is... And then I won't do that ever again. Paparazzi shit, right?
I was once at Pearson International. It's Toronto's airport. It's got its issues. But I was waiting for a flight, and I was sitting next to someone and at a crowded bar, had my lunch. And then when the person I was sitting next to got up and left. And then these people come over to me and they go, "Do you know who you're sitting beside?" I'm like, "No clue." They're like, "That was Jason Momoa." So I had no idea. I could have taken 37 pictures next to him, but I was polite and didn't interrupt him.
Because you didn't know. A lot of people have Momoa run-ins, apparently.
Well, he's an easy person to run into, but I had never watched Game of Thrones, so I never made that connection. It was
watched Game of Thrones.
Oh no, I know. I've gone back and watched it. Really liked it. Haven't watched the new one. I refuse to watch the new spinoff, Game of Dragons.
I don't know, something along those lines.
Dragon's Lair. Do you guys, Z-Money, do you know what that is?
House of Dragon.
House of Dragon.
Come on, nerd. Man, I'm having trouble like watching any new I'm just like I go back to the well, watch the same old things.
Ooh, speaking of, I'm back to the well watching a real gem. Kimmy Schmidt.
Kimmy Schmidt?
Have you ever watched it?
No.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
I know the
Oh my goodness, some of the best television ever created in the last 20 years.
Did you ever see the clip that went viral of her way back in the day when she would do skits about it's a point of view camera and it's her being like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a blowjob.
Whoa.
And it's gonna be so dry, just like you like it. It's gonna be like sand."
Oh, I don't want to hear Kimmy Schmidt saying that.
It's hilarious. You should look it up. And also watch Boondock Saints.
Okay, so we always like to give viewing tips, things to watch. And I'm currently watching the Tom Brady roast 2 months after it aired. It's a long one. I don't think I'm even halfway through, and this is my day 3 of watching it. So it's a slog. Could have been edited. Don't think we needed Kim Kardashian. I don't know why she was even invited. Is that like a Netflix demand that's in her contract? Like, I need to appear?
I think if you throw any Kardashian in any situation, it's going to get some eyes on it.
That's...
Right?
But I don't think a single person is tuning in to see Kim Kardashian. Anyway, I digress. We're here to talk about the Stanley Cup Final. We're 2 games in. A person that's referenced many times on this podcast is Stanley Cup champion Brian Bickle, the pride of Warno. If you drove into town, which you did, you saw his name on the sign.
I did.
Home of Brian Bickle. So I said, first off, gave him shit. I said, Bixie, where you been? He was picking weeds. Then informed him his sauna. It's shitty weather right now in Ontario, but it's perfect for lighting a sauna. The no humidity gives perfect airflow. Had the sauna up to 100 degrees Celsius last night, a sauna he built. I continue on. Brian Bickle, I asked him, I said, what's going on with the Oilers? They're down 2 games to none. He said, not a problem. He had no concern with the Oilers going back home. Zero concern. I said, but aren't you a little... No, he's like, nope. There was no life in the building in Florida. They get back to their home crowd. They're going to tie up that series. No problem. I will be honest. I've had a tough time getting into this cup final so far through 2 games.
I share that sentiment about not being worried, just because of how good that team is and what they can do and what they're capable of doing. Now, mind you, game 1,
Snorfest.
They could have won, though. Edmonton played a good game. I think Florida...
Oh, my God, Bobrovsky robbed them.
Florida got the W on Bob. But yesterday, I think there's some questionable... it was a violent game.
Oh, my God, there was knees everywhere.
A rear naked choke.
I know.
He was tapping
He
out.
had the fucking tap out.
And I don't think they even looked at that. Like, I was like, are these guys buddies? Is this a little gimmick they're doing? Like, oh, I'm tapping, bro. And then Draisaitl making that questionable hit. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but that's another X factor going into game 3, right? Like, if the league decides to do something about that, it's out of his hands now. Not the best decision. You know, you're down 3-1. Mm-hmm. He looked like he was out of gas midway through that game. He didn't have the pep in his step that he's had in that Dallas series. But
so when you're a coach, you're like, hey, get that pep in your step.
Yeah, big time. Big time. But I think it's time for McDavid to step up and do what he needs to do.
Oh, man, he had that one rush last night where he just blew by everyone, where you see McDavid go into another gear.
Breakaway?
It's amazing. No, it was the one where he went down the left side and just blew past everyone, then got a bad angle shot. But I like the fact that the Oilers are going back home. Our good friend Jonathan Torrens, John Ovision, he has tickets to Game 3. He will be in attendance. Massive Oilers fan. Your favorite Jonathan Torrens role in any Canadian TV show? Go.
J-Rock.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Yeah, you're probably too young to remember John Ovision.
No, I remember that for sure.
Do you remember Street Sense?
Yes. Of course.
Really?
Yeah, I was a big. My brother was 3 years older. He still is 3 years older than me, and we would watch that all the time.
Yeah, Fit for the Pit. They'd examine the new products out on the market, and if it was trash, they'd throw it in the pit. And I'm like, whoa, man, that product's never going to recover from that.
Did he do comedy?
No, I think he was like
J-Rock was an incredible character.
Yeah.
Spin more rhymes than the lazy Susan. I'm innocent until my guilt is proven.
Well, that was good. That guy's just a Canadian icon. If there's a Canadian Broadcast Hall of Fame, he should be in it.
Is there one?
Well, there's a Canadian Walk of Fame in Toronto. It's right by Massey Hall, Roy Thompson Hall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Keanu Reeves was the last big addition.
No, I think there's additions every year. It's just not really publicized, and you're walking on it and don't even realize it.
Oh, for sure. It's right in front of the theater there. He'll get you on there.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Broadcast Hall of Fame.
For Boomsies.
Yeah.
We're going on that one. I heard, this is through a friend, that the woman, the Oilers fan who showed her tatas,
Oh, yeah.
is now selling merch.
I'm buying it.
And it says like oil cans.
Look at that. You love to see it.
Which was the name of a bar in Fort McMurray, Alberta when I lived there. Their oil can. If you felt like gambling with your life, it's the bar you went to. It's one of those ones you're like, okay, I might get hit with a broken bottle in here, but I might also have the most memorable night of my life. I guess if you got hit with a broken beer bottle, it would be the most memorable night of your life as well. So
I got hit with a beer bottle and it didn't break, and I just had a big welt on my head.
You got a soft head?
It was awful.
How did this happen?
I was at a house party, an Oakville Trafalgar house party, high school house party. Wasn't my house, but it was one of those parties that it starts with 30 people and then word gets around and then the riffraff rolls in.
Oh, yeah.
And I was the guy who was...
Were you the riffraff?
No. There's tears to riffraff, but by the end, somebody was trying to get in the house, and I remember trying to be the hero. You know, I like to use my words. I would like to say my mouth's gotten me out of a lot of jams.
Okay.
When I say it out loud like that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. It sounds like you're doing sexual favors.
Through a few problems. And long story short, I got in the way, and this guy came up from behind another guy and just bopped me on the head with. I think he went to break it over my head, but I think the beer bottle was full, which is a problem to begin with.
Oh, yeah,
it was just that clunk, and I woke up with a big goose egg on my head, and yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, I've never had a bottle put against my head. I guess I've been doing living life correctly, or just staying out of those jams.
I've been stabbed before. Did you know that?
Whoa!
I've been stabbed.
Where?
I've been hit by a boat propeller.
Back up to the stabbing. Where did you get stabbed?
So I was in between. Okay, stabbed is a strong word. I got cut, if you will. I was in between two bars in Oakville. There's a bar.
Oakville sounds like a dangerous place.
No one's safe. Follow the money. I was going in between bars. I started working at this bar, a very popular bar at the time, and in my first...
The beer garage.
Filthy McNasty's.
Oh, what was the other beer place you said? The
Beer Town.
Beer Town.
No, Beer Town's a family restaurant. Filthy's was the place to go at night to get rowdy. And my first shift there, I was in the back of the house. I was a dish pit, and basically I tied one on there, and my boss was like, called me in the next day. He's like, listen, you drank too much after your first shift, not a good first impression. And I was there, I was super young, and I'm like, he's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm getting fired. There goes my dishwashing job. And he's like, I like you though, you can stick around, but you can't drink here. And I was like, oh, okay, I can figure that one out, no problem. And it was all the people from the bar, all my friends, all my close friends, they were drinking there. Now down the road, literally 100 yards from that bar was another bar called Arnold's, R.I.P. They had crazy dubstep Saturdays. So long and the short of it is I would get off work, walk 100 yards to that bar, get hammered, and then walk back and hang out at the bar where I couldn't drink, but I was already torqued. So at one point I was walking by, and this was late at night, and I'm on my way back, and these guys are like, "What's up, pal?" And I just walk by them, pay no mind, and then I get pushed from behind. And I feel like a sharp pain on the back of my legs, the back of my thighs, the back of my calves.
And wait, how tall was this person? Why are they stabbing you in the legs?
Because I got pushed from behind, and then it was like, I guess, the follow-up, because they were trying to grab my wallet. I got a couple legs to the ribs, kicks to the ribs, and then they took my wallet. I think I had $14, which they could have just asked me for. And then they ran off, and then I looked back, and I was just literally all cut up. It was.
Okay, so these are probably horrible thieves, because why would you try to rob a drunk young dishwasher? That would be my last target.
Yeah, but it's Oakville. I could have had thousands of dollars on me. No, it was all a blur, and it was mayhem. But that's what I recall from that. It was just, I remember going to the bar, like, crying.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
I was just attacked. They did call an ambulance, and I got stitches. Yes.
Still have a scar?
No, I did have a scar on my hands from, like, I guess trying to stop it or something like that. But no, I'm fully healed. So
And
it's
they
an
did.
anticlimactic story, but
Did they get the wallet or no?
no, that
Okay.
thing was gone. They didn't catch. I don't think they gave a shit at the end, nor do I think they believed me. Because somebody was like, "If you got assaulted and you fought, you're entitled to money," and I was like, "Really?" So I saw this whole thing. through.
Yeah,
I
I've
was
seen
like,
those commercials. Yeah.
And no, they got away. They're out there still
And you
with my $14.
could be fucking collecting millions here.
I know.
Hmm. Fun fact, I was also once a dishwasher, and it's one of those jobs where people always make fun of it, but it's a job that had instant gratification because you could see firsthand what you were accomplishing.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
You're keeping that restaurant running.
But then you had, I don't know about you, but I got very territorial. I was like, I'm running this operation. We'll get back to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Oh, no, we're done with that.
It's just the benchmark be like, hey, ladies, or whoever's coming in dropping off dishes, let's put the square plates with the square
Oh,
plates.
you can't
the
do that.
circle with the circle. You know those little games they get kids to put the triangle in the
Yeah.
triangle? You're like, these are grown humans. Let's do that. And then it almost became personal when they just throw like a ramekin in the thing, and you're like, what the?
That's what they do. That's why you got your pan there. They just throw all their shit in there. You got to sort it.
I guess.
You got to make the chaos into non-chaos.
There was nothing quite like that last squeegee around the little dish, and you're like, oh, I'm done for the day. That was the last dish.
The worst part of dishwashing is when the kitchen closes down and the pots come.
Ah, true. I haven't thought about that since.
That's where you're like, oh, my hands are already, I didn't wear gloves. They're already soggy. I can almost see the bones in my hands, and I got to deal. Like, why do you have to use so many pots and pans?
And they just huck the pans in.
Yeah.
Sweet chili sauce just caked on.
I at one point wanted to be a chef, but then I realized, shit, you got to clean the kitchen every single night, no matter if you're like the bottom chef or the top chef. You got to clean the kitchen.
Yeah, but that's part of the gig, and you got to respect it and respect your laboratory, even if you're making fucking nachos all day.
Did the chefs in your kitchen? So I was a dishwasher at like the age of 16. Did the chefs in your kitchen slowly and slyly get absolutely bombed every night?
Okay, I'll tell you every night. Why would you wait till night? So every Friday, this place doesn't exist anymore, so I'm not outing anybody. Every Friday it would be like, I could say that my drinking definitely escalated working at a bar, especially that one. But it would be that one of us in the kitchen, so there would be 3 people on a Friday. And one of us would, on the way in, get a 40 of vodka and put it in the walk-in freezer.
Oh.
So as we're prepping for the Friday lunch rush, we would all have drinks, you know, we're entitled to our free Coca-Cola from the fountain.
Oh, yeah.
Fill it up. We would finish that over by the end of the lunch rush. So between 11 till about 3:34, when they cut two of us, we would finish that. So we would finish a 40 of vodka, and then and then we would come back on for the dinner rush. But in between on that break, we would do rock, paper, scissors, and the loser would have to go get another one and bring it back.
And this is every Friday.
And this is Friday, yes. And then it was wonderful. And the rush comes in, we're playing tunes. We're having a blast. And basically the way that would work is, and then we drink more over dinner, and then when we got cut 9, 10, 11, the bar was now full of people partying, so we stumble out there and continue the chaos. But yes,
starting to see now, there's a trend to your stories. I can see why you don't drink anymore.
Yeah, I know. I told people I stopped drinking. They're like, God damn it. Like, yeah, 12 years too late. Hey, hindsight 2020.
It
wasn't my fault. I was having fun.
Exactly. We were young, impressionable people. I never partook in the drinking at the restaurant. It was just the chef who, I don't think he thought anyone saw he was like down in 12 a night.
Yeah, but his face is red than a tomato.
Oh yeah, and then he'd go out and tour around the tables and talking to the guests, and I'm still trying to figure out life. I'm like, is he drunk?
And then I worked my way up to being a bartender and server, and
that's
a whole other beast.
So you got a lot of shots bought for you.
Oh yeah.
Were you at an establishment that let you do shots? Not
while working, but it didn't matter really what they let us do. I definitely took a few.
So as a bartender, did you see a lot of theft?
Stealing? Yeah, there was multiple people were caught and red-handed on camera stealing.
So we had a bar in Fort McMurray called Cowboys, world famous Cowboys. And they wanted to ensure their staff was not stealing a penny, that they would have to weigh their bottles before their shift and after. I've never seen it at a restaurant before or since. Before or since? Yeah, before or after. But that's how they kept a handle on giving out a lot of drinks for cash and just pocketing the cash.
I would steal gallons of chocolate milk.
Wait.
I would just when I was working.
Wait. You're working at a bar and you're stealing chocolate milk?
Just during my shift, I would go into the walk-in freezer or the walk-in fridge where all the milk was kept, and I just hide behind the thing and just crack one, and I just down some chocolate milk. Fire it up.
Okay. There is one takeout item, and it's the only thing that I have chocolate milk with. It's the only time in my adult existence that I order chocolate milk. Can you guess what that
Subway.
It's a sub, yes.
I feel that.
But it's Mr. Sub. Subway is garbage.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Sub's few and far between, but I get you.
Subway.
He doesn't like mushroom mush on their sub.
Subway, you could order just a loaf of bread and it would be soggy. Everything is soggy at Subway. That should be their slogan.
Yeah.
Mr. Sub all the way. And I heard my favorite sub chain, Jersey Mike's. My good friend Jay Onright let me know that a Jersey Mike's is coming to Union Station in Toronto.
Nice.
Have you been to Jersey Mike's?
I have. There's one at the airport. I went to one at the airport in LA.
LAX?
LAX.
It's a world famous airport.
Yes. And I had a sub on my way home. It was delicious. It was delicious.
They did a rebrand of the terminal that we fly out to Canada at LAX. But I think they moved that terminal. LAX, disaster to get in and out of.
Out of for sure. I don't know if you've been now since the whole Uber situation.
So the Uber, they don't pick you up there anymore.
Unless you take an Uber Black, which is $300 USD, and then you have to walk down the street to this place where the rideshare picks you up, and I pay the guy. There's a cab line and a rideshare line, and the cab line's obviously way faster because it's more expensive, but it's like absolute chaos, and you're just waiting there. It's a shit show.
I lived in LA at the right time. I had money, and Uber prices were like very reasonable. So I'd like have a 10-minute drive, and I'd do Uber Black, and it'd be like $25. Those were the days.
Once upon a time.
I once got into. I was all hungover. I was flying back to Canada, and I go outside my building. My Uber Black is sitting there. I hop in, and then the guy says something before I get in. I'm like, yeah. So halfway there, we realize I'm not supposed to be in that vehicle.
You got in the wrong one?
I got in the wrong thing. I'm like, dude, we're almost there. He's like, no, we can't be doing this. We can't be doing this. Like, I'm like, he goes, I said your name. I'm like, I didn't hear what you said.
You're not Veronica?
So that was the only time I've ever gotten the wrong vehicle. We sorted it out. I like gave him cash or something. I'm like, we're adults. Like, we can figure this out. You can
It's not a major problem.
put something, but he made it seem like I had hijacked an airplane.
Well, I feel like that's on the top of their list of things you... Step one, ask the person their name and confirm the identity of the person who's paid for this
And
ride.
plus, I had a dog with me.
Wild card.
Yeah.
Absolute wild card. Are you traveling anywhere in the next little while?
Yeah. Knuckles golf tournament in Montreal.
Thanks for the invite, Nuts.
And guess how I'm getting there?
Come on.
Hey, yeah, baby. Let's go.
Nice. When's that?
July 15th.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
What's the course?
I don't ask questions.
Yeah. Why would you?
My motto in life is someone's having a party, I say, I'll be there. Because the moment you start asking questions and you say no, they're like, what a dick.
I'm trying not to lie as much in life.
Well, you should try not to lie at all.
No, for sure. But there's certain situations I feel like, even in the instance where it's like, oh, are you coming out on Thursday? I'm like, yeah, I might make it. Just by saying might, I'm like, I'm not lying.
Oh, I said my kid.
I'm not going to be there, and everybody knows.
So when someone says that to me, my kids even know my response now. No chance.
Yeah.
I just say no chance.
Amen. That's called a perfect relationship.
But anyone asks, I'm like, no chance. If it's a Monday, Tuesday, I'll be there. Any other day, no chance in hell.
Yep, I've learned that about you.
What are we looking at for? Oh, look at Z Money with a sign. Where'd you find a Sharpie? Oh, on the desk over there in the Boomsies studio. Well, Gavin, I think we accomplished nothing here.
Perfect. It's a work day.
Workday was the title sponsor of the just completed Memorial Golf Tournament. Workday, still don't know what they do. Do you know what Workday does?
They're everything now. I think it's just something else you have to log into and have a password for.
Is it like, do they do payroll?
I think they do your daily activities and anything from like, oh, let's look at what my schedule looks like today to, oh, we did this paperwork. Let's pull it up.
You have no idea what the company
No.
is.
No, I refuse. I refuse to know what Workday is.
Well, thanks for sitting in on our experiment here. Will it happen? If it doesn't happen again, you know it was a complete disaster.
Amen. I'm here for it.
Gavin, where can people find you?
On the internet. Follow me at Gavin the House.
Why is it Gavin the House?
I'm not sure. It was like Gav in the House. My other one was Gavin a Good Time, because it's like having a good time.
No, I'm so glad you didn't go.
And that's why I'm a comedian, Dan. Because I roll out the hits.
Give us your best knock-knock joke.
I don't have really
I got one.
A lot of knock-knock material.
I got one. Let me remember it.
We're bad at this.
No. Knock knock.
Who's there?
No, that's not it. Why did Sally fall off the swing?
I don't know.
She had no arms. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Not Sally.
I'll tell you this one. Why did the Scarecrow get a promotion?
No clue.
Because he's outstanding in his field.
Okay, that's an okay dad joke. I'll accept that.
Come see me live in Oakville next Friday, the 21st.
Are you performing at any of the establishments you just trashed?
No.
They're all closed down?
Yes.
You didn't trash them anyway. You talked about you being a bad employee.
Yeah, and a bad drunk.
Shout out Oakville. It's a safe place, though, I think.
You're among friends in Oakville.
Until next time.
Welcome to Boomsies with Dan O'Toozy. Live from Orono in the heart of Ontario. Oh, baby, Boomsies.